All right. Welcome back to part 2 of Game Club for the week, when we go over the topic of the week and some news. And the topic for this week is Zelda Breath of the Wild. And, oh, you know what I didn't do for the first part of Game Club again? I did not say what the game was going to be. I didn't give... Man, that's twice in 2 weeks. So
Make a mistake.
let's do the announcements for the game. So next week will be Mount Your Friends. Garrett, you got to get in on that.
Mount Your Friends.
You're the best looking of us, so you got to be in on that game.
That's debatable.
And then the next game after that, September 20th, look out for Undertale. We'll Game Club Undertale, which is supposed to be a pretty cool RPG. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we'll Game Club We Happy Few, September 27th. So feel free to play any of those games. And
I don't have a PS4, so is this unplayable for me? Mount Your Friends?
It's on Steam.
Oh,
it is.
Cool.
Yeah. So definitely play it on Steam. And
with friends.
With friends.
Wow,
Mount those friends.
Already the photos. Yeah,
it's incredible. It's incredible. You're going to love it. You're going to love it so much. So back to the topic of the week. Zelda Breath of the Wild. So for those of you who don't know, and why don't you know? That's stupid. But for those of you who don't know, the next Zelda game in that long franchise of Nintendo games is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. It's going to... If they stick to what they're saying, it's going to be on the Wii U and the NX, although I wouldn't be surprised if the Wii U version gets canceled sooner or later. It comes out early 2017, and there's a lot of videos out now, a lot of gameplay videos about both the graphics, the world, and the new game mechanics. And we can, in our discussion, kind of cover some of that stuff, but here's the basis of the conversation. This is the topic. Is it good enough to bring in new fans to the series, potential new fans, and to bring back old fans who have fallen away from the series? I myself have played every console Zelda game and maybe about half of the handheld games, most of them to completion. And when I played Skyward Sword, I said to myself, I'm done with Zelda. They have to convince me to come back. I just can't do this. I can't even.
So the target audience, James?
Right. So that's me. I know, Chris, you played the N64 games, particularly the, what do you call it, Ocarina of Time, right?
That's the only Zelda game I have spent any real time with, and I didn't finish it.
And what's the Zelda games you played, Garrett?
Wind Waker and whatever the Wii one that first came out.
Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
And Jose, what did you play?
Ocarina of Time. I also played one on the Nintendo, which was Link's Awakening, I believe.
Link's Awakening is on the Game Boy.
Is it?
Yeah, there's two on the NES. There's the original Zelda game, and then there's a second one called
Link's Adventure.
Link's Adventures.
Yeah,
that.
Or that's the Adventures. It was a gold cartridge on the NES. Yeah, I remember that.
And that's the one that's both top down and it has side scrolling to it.
Yeah, that was a great game. And I also played one on the Wii, which was the one where you can turn into a wolf, I believe. Twilight
Princess.
Yeah. That's the one. So those 3 games. And
so we have a mixture here. Some people who have played very little, some who have played a lot, some in the middle. And the question is, we all spent some time watching Zelda Breath of the Wild, learning about some of the new game mechanics. We'll discuss it. Seeing just footage and what the new world looks like, and I think for the first time they can legitimately say they're trying new things with the game series. Because let's be honest here, I loved Zelda for literally decades, but I couldn't help but notice it turned into this exact thing. There's always like 3 things you got to get from 3 different dungeons in the beginning, and then plot twist, which means now you got to go to 5.
One's the sword. You got to get your sword somewhere.
Then plot twist, which causes you have to go to 5 or 6 dungeons to get 5 or 6 things, and then that leads to the final dungeon. And it's almost always there's like the sword upgrades, including the Master Sword. There's the hook shot, which you end up getting. There's
Boomerang. Is that the hook shot? Boomerang.
Boomerang is another one, and also the what do you call it? When you fire
a bow and arrow?
Well, there's the bow and arrow, yeah.
Okay.
I was talking about where you fire like rocks from a rubber band. Slingshot.
Yeah. And don't forget the armor.
Yeah, and the various armors. And like Zelda is very iterative. It does the exact same basic game with new graphics and some kind of one gameplay element added. So Twilight Princess, it was becoming the wolf and going into the sort of the other world. It was kind of a dark world. For Skyward Sword, it was the flying mechanics for the most part.
Wind Waker was a boat.
Wind Waker was the boat mechanics, but it's only ever just like one new thing. But with Zelda Breath of the Wild, it looks like a fresh start, right? It's open world. There's apparently when you first in the first 45 minutes of gameplay, you can collect quite a few items. There's lots of crafting. When you see people playing it, honestly, you can approach situations any way you like. You can sort of try to figure out the story in the order that's designed there, but apparently if you know what to do, you can go straight to the end or close to it. Because it's a fully open experience, just like the very first Zelda game. If you knew how to play the game and you weren't going to get killed from the tough enemies, you could, with your 3 hearts, go straight to the final dungeon in the first Zelda game and beat the game. Right. It's just that likely it's not going to work out for you.
Yeah, that was that. I remember that with Winwaker Night. I guess I didn't know that part of Zelda. As I played the whole game and I got to the boss, and there's no way I had enough hearts to beat him. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just supposed to play for 3 or 4 more weeks and collect hearts just for this whole fact of building up my ability to beat the boss. It was kind of strange, maybe because it was open world, but I was more used to linear games where, okay, you're here at the boss, so you're prepared enough to beat the boss. And that wasn't the case with the longest time I played that Zelda game.
Yeah.
And so I didn't beat the boss. I tried a little bit. I'm like, I don't want to dig up this many sea chests or like fish for this many sea chests. So I kind of stopped playing.
Yeah. So I'm going to give my perspective first because I think I'm the easiest person to convince in the room. I've played the most Zelda games, even though I was pretty ticked off by the end of Skyward Sword. I've still played all these Zelda games, right? So I'm probably the easiest person to win over. And here's how I feel about it. If I get an NX, I'll definitely get that Zelda game.
Oh.
Because I want games for my NX. So
it's not going to convince you to buy an NX.
It hasn't convinced me to buy an NX.
But you do have a Wii U.
I have a Wii U, but I don't think I'm going to buy it on the Wii U.
Okay.
I don't think there's enough there for me to want to play it on the Wii U. I'm kind of disappointed in the Wii U as hardware, and I almost never play it now. My daughters play it all the time. There's a lot of games for them that they like, but it takes a lot to convince me to pick up a Wii U controller. But I am on the fence about the NX, and if I get an NX, I'm going to need some first window, what do you call it, launch window games, and it looks like Zelda's going to be one of those launch window games. Yeah. So if I get an NX, I'll probably get this game, but that's me. I would say the next easier sale here is probably Garrett. You've played more than the other guys, but not me.
I don't know. I haven't had, I guess I had a Wii for a while. Original Wii. I wouldn't say I've committed to a Nintendo system since GameCube. When the Wii came out, I was interested in it, but just didn't want to deal with waiting in line and trying to find one. And so I just kind of let it pass by. And then finally someone had one gave me one, I don't know, 2 or 3 years after they came out. And it broke, so I wasn't that into it. So I'm interested in some reviews of I obviously all of us growing up, I think there's fond memories of Nintendo. And we want it to be as good as we remember, and we want it to. It doesn't have to be the best console out there. It just has to consistently deliver a fun video game experience. But I also have not purchased any next gen consoles, so I assumed I would get a PS4. But now that the PS4 0.5 is coming out, I'm just waiting and putting it off.
Probably comes out in October.
But I have a daughter who's 3, which I don't know if that's video game age, but we're starting to play video games together in a very limited sense.
Heck yeah.
She'll help me catch Pokemon, and we play Pokemon Go.
So you're starting her off wrong.
I don't know. She really likes it. She's actually pretty good. She gets a great catch all the time.
Nice.
So we play. She has a couple little games she plays on her Kindle, like ABC Mouse, which is more of an educational platform, but there's games in there. So that being said, if the NX is compelling enough, I can probably much more easier convince my wife for us to get an NX as opposed to a PS4.5.
You got to get a Neo and then buy an NX.
What's the other one? EO?
Neo. That's the PlayStation 4.5.
I wasn't sure that was it. Yeah, I don't think we're the video game family that can invest that kind of money into systems.
Too many yachts.
Let me say that another way. I don't think I can convince my wife to spend that much money on video game systems. So if the Nintendo thing looks like a fun family activity that doesn't involve throwing controllers at the TV.
Some practical advice about that very issue, and Jose, you can take this advice as well. This is how you get those consoles and those games that the wives aren't the biggest fan of you buying. if you pre-order them with, let's say, GameStop or any other place where they'll let you trickle money into the order, pre-buy them as early as you can, like a year ahead of time. And like every couple of weeks, just drop another $20 in there. Like just incognito amounts of money into your purchase of the console.
Yeah, and they just never tell them and go, hey, look at the system we just got. Hey,
It's
you didn't even notice the money was missing, so you can't get mad at me.
Yeah, we just say, I used my fund money that way.
Yeah,
when
I didn't eat out. I just ate beans and rice for lunch and took my lunch money and put it into the console.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that being said, I really kind of want a Nintendo system, and I want a good one, and I want to have fun with one. And so if this looks good and compelling and it's got the right price point, I will get it, and I will get this game because I love open world games, and I love kind of fun and fairly easy to jump in open world games. Like I did Skyrim, and I liked it, except like I hate when like missions bug out and you can't finish them. Like drives me nuts. I don't know what that's called. It's called something, but and I actually remember Winwaker had one of those, and it kind of frustrated me. They like go here and
game
knock on this
breaking
person's door.
bugs.
Yeah, you like knock on the door and like they're never there, and it's a bug.
Yeah.
Anyways, if I get it, I will. It's the same as you, I guess.
Yeah. So
if I get NX, I will get this
similar
game.
answer. But Jose, what about you?
Has
it won your heart? Are you gonna buy this game?
Yeah, I am probably. If I do get an NX, it'll probably be one of the first games I get.
Are you gonna get an NX though?
I don't know yet. I have to see what it's like. What I can do with it. If I can, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just have to see what it comes out with.
Can you give us 2 minutes of like what we know so far about it?
About Zelda or the NX?
NX.
Well,
It's somewhere around the power range of an Xbox One. It's handheld primarily, but it docks into your television. The controllers come off the sides when you do that.
and
And that controller can go one to
Apparent-
each person?
Yep.
Okay.
Apparently. And then also it uses cartridges as opposed to disc based. That's the rumor. And I mean,
That's it.
let's just face it. It's a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo has a way of putting out gimmick consoles, and they'll have a handful of incredible games, a bunch of other games I'll never even think about playing, and I always buy my Nintendo consoles, if I do, for the 10 or 11 incredible games that I'll play. And then I also know that in the last 2 years of its life, it'll be completely abandoned by Nintendo.
And you and yourself.
So if you want the quick rundown on NX, that's pretty much what you can bet on.
Oh man, it's not
Well, what I meant was I'm kind of hoping that the third party also support the NX because I really want third party support.
Because there's a
for it.
long history of that so far.
Yeah, the Wii U has been kind of a letdown. So I haven't even
and the
touched
Wii,
that. So
and
I'm
the
hoping,
GameCube, and the N64. The Super NES was the last time third-party support was behind Nintendo in any serious fashion.
Yeah, but
Outside
the
of
Wii U had
Capcom,
really dropped off. pretty
Capcom
badly.
is the only third party that's really been on the side of Nintendo.
Well, that's kind of what I'm hoping kind of picks up a little bit. And then if that happens, I'll probably go ahead and jump in and maybe get that later on.
Well,
but I'm going to have to probably wait about a year. So, yeah.
Chris, I feel like you're the hardest sell. What do you think?
I'm not buying an NX.
Definitive.
Yeah.
The definitive Chris.
I'm not stepping that far backwards.
superior race talking.
Nice.
Even like I'll get an Xbox Scorpio, but
All right.
like that's a step backwards from PC already. So
Yeah.
like I'm not even gonna go 2 steps back.
Probably more like 4 steps back.
Chris is
honestly.
kind of like the professional race car driver, and I was asking him, are you gonna buy the next Civic Si? You're like, well, every day I drive an F1 car, so like, why would I be that excited
No,
about
my
a Civic
computer's not
Si?
that great, but I just got back into PC gaming probably in the last year or so.
That's
And
a
I'd
good time.
forgotten the difference.
And $30,000 in.
I wish.
I'm just looking at your gaming.
I know, we're
chair
looking at
right
your
now.
setup, and it's like, of
I
course
just
she's not
lean
gonna buy
back
it.
in the sweet
NX.
DX racer chair I got here.
It's ridiculous.
I need to do a review on it for everyone.
Nice.
I would love that. Okay, so moving on. It's the beginning of September, which means we get to have another epic PS Plus versus Games with Gold. And I
Xbox
admitted,
wins.
No. I admitted last time that Games with Gold was a better purchase this time around. It was a better value. But this month, Sony's got the better value. Not by a huge margin, but I'd say by enough margin that it's noticeable. That's my opinion. So we'll begin with Games with Gold. With Games with Gold, you get Earthlock Festival of
What
Magic.
is Games with Gold?
Oh, you don't... Garrett, catch up.
Okay, say that again. Pretend like I don't know what Games with Gold is.
So
Maybe
both
like our
PS
viewers.
Plus and Games with Gold are $60 a month
year.
subscriptions. A year, excuse me. $60 a year. They come with internet access for the console, a bunch of other dumb things, and then every month a handful of
How
free
does it
games.
offer internet access with the consoles?
No, it gives you extra features for your Xbox. So, for example, multiplayer games, you can actually play them online.
Right,
Without
that's how
it,
you
you're
get
not going
online.
to be able to play it.
Yeah. But how does games with gold can't offer any of that? Obviously.
Well, you have to have Xbox Live Gold to do that, and then games with gold comes with your gold.
Sorry,
subscription.
this is the Xbox
So you
Live
get a
PS
free-
Plus.
Yeah.
Right.
It's called Games with Gold. Sorry, I thought we were talking about some third party.
Yeah, that's true. They,
subscription.
unlike PS Plus, they distinguish really what's the same thing, right? Games with
Right.
Gold and Xbox Live Gold are the same service for $60 a year.
Got it.
So anyway, this month, if you have Xbox Live Gold, your Games with Gold games are Earthlock Festival of Magic, which I've never heard of. Anybody heard of that?
Nope.
See, trash. And Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, which I heard was trash.
That didn't look like a great game.
Forza Horizon. Now, the Forza series is heralded, and the Horizon spin-off games are supposed to be pretty good. But this is, I think Forza Horizon 1 was only an Xbox 360 game, so this is probably their 360 offering.
Yeah.
And then Mirror's Edge review, and it's not clear from this list here whether it's only the last generation version or if it's also the re-release they did for the current gen. Didn't they bring out the first Mirror's Edge for this gen?
I know they
As a
wanted
re-release?
to. I don't know if they did.
so.
Oh, maybe they
Yeah,
didn't.
they had a new Mirror's Edge,
Well, they did have a new one. That's
Yeah.
true.
Catalyst or whatever it was.
Now,
But those that don't know, Forza Horizon is an open world kind of racing game, so you
Yeah.
can race around the world and actually challenge people online. So it's really
it's
kind of
supposed to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's fun.
pretty
It's a
cool.
fun game.
Yeah. If you like racing games.
Yeah.
So PS Plus, you get Journey on PS3 and PS4. I know it's on both, and you get it free on both. Journey, a lot of people like it. I was a little bit more tepid on it, but a lot of people love Journey. A lot of people made it their game of the year it came out. Not just game of the PlayStation games, but game of the year for PlayStation, but just game of the year period. IGN made it their game of the year it came out. Also, Lords of the Fallen, and I feel like I know what that game is, but it's not coming to mind. Anybody play Lords of the Fallen?
Yeah, it's supposed to
It's
be
not Mordor.
It's supposed to be a game like Dark Souls kind of, and that's
okay.
kind of hard to do kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's a similar game like that. It's
You also get
supposed to be pretty good.
You also get Badland, and you get Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, that must be a PS3 exclusive because that's not on PS4.
Yeah, it's PS3.
And Datura, which is a PS3 game as well, and Amnesia Memories. I bet that's a game for the Vita. So the overall retail values here. So according to retail value, the value of the PS Plus games is $106.94, and the value of the games with gold games is $74.96.
Yeah.
And it was quite the reverse last time. And I thought the lineup last month was great for games with gold, but this time around looks like in my opinion, PS Plus edges them out. It's because of Journey particularly, but and Prince of Persia if you have a PS3. Okay, now moving on. And by the way, thanks to IGN.com for having a wiki that helps us with that news. So the rest of the news today is going to be PAX West 2016 related, and so it's just some of our picks from the PAX West news. One of them being the announcement. Well, first of all, we got the announcement for Metal Gear Survive. We're not going to talk about that again because it's still breaking my heart. But Konami has announced that there's going to be a Metal Gear Solid 5 definitive experience, which basically means in one box you'll get Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and the DLC for Phantom Pain and the multiplayer mode and Metal Gear Online all in one package.
There's two versions of Metal Gear Solid 5?
And for $49.99, by the way.
Wow.
Oh.
Pretty good deal.
What happened was when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, about a year or two before the major release, they put out about 10 hours worth of content as a separate release called Ground Zeroes, and it was sort of a prologue to the bigger story of Metal Gear Solid 5.
But it's a separate story.
It sets up Metal Gear Solid 5.
So you can play that first. And
it's
then
a cliffhanger.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, but now they're all one package, and like I was saying to you guys before we recorded, Metal Gear Solid 5 is awesome. Phantom Pain would have been my game of the year if it hadn't come out the same year as Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I just love Witcher 3 too much, but I actually, when I was fully in love with Witcher 3, I had beaten the game, but I was still enjoying DLC and just doing side missions. I actually put Witcher 3 down to play exclusively Metal Gear Solid 5 for about a month. And then when I was done with that, I was like, okay, back to Witcher 3. But still, it was a great, great game. I'm super happy. I'm sad that, Konami and Kojima couldn't get along. Sounds like it was mostly Konami problem, but whatever.
What is that referring to? That they can't get along? They're not making another one?
No. Kojima has split ways with Konami, and Kojima has always been the brainchild, or the mastermind behind the Metal Gear series.
Yeah. So what is your view that they're no longer going to make Metal Gear Solid games?
No, they're still going to make them, but they just announced...
New developer?
They just announced a new one, and it's obvious that Kojima is not part of that series anymore. Like, the quality dip
obvious.
Was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, PAX 2016, we're getting a 20th anniversary World Tour edition of Duke Nukem 3D. Did you guys ever play Duke Nukem 3D?
Of course.
Oh my gosh, I loved Duke Nukem 3D as a kid. Now, I was watching some videos of this new edition, and I realized, man, I had no idea what quality gaming was when I was a kid. The game's hot trash. But still...
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first Duke Nukem 3D was built on the Doom engine, right? It was,
right.
I think it
a
even
lot
had
like Doom.
it even had sound effects from Doom, I believe.
It was so great you could build your own levels.
Yeah.
Build your own maps.
Yep.
Yeah, and they came out with a separate disc of 1,000 fan-made levels. I remember buying it back then for like $10.
I remember getting mad when people would pick up the phone and kick me off.
Oh, man.
Anyway, I mean, Duke Nukem is sort of a parody of itself nowadays, and it's the butt of many video game jokes. But I wouldn't mind going back and playing a little bit of Duke Nukem 3D for an afternoon, and then probably putting it down forever again. But it's coming out. I'm not sure if it's going to come out on PS4, Xbox One, PC October 11th.
Yep.
Which is a terrible time to come out with a small game. I mean, that's right when you start.
Yeah, Battlefield will be out in October.
Right.
Wow.
And we'll be leading up to Call of Duty. That it'll just get drowned out completely.
But if you want to play a fun game that's just goofy all around, you definitely want to pick this up.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to go play Enter the Gungeon.
Now, Jose, you were looking through some PAX 2016 news, and you found a piece of news you wanted us to talk about.
Yeah, I looked up this game called Outward. It's developed by 9 Dot Studio, and it's an RPG. And
it only uses 9 dots.
9 pixels?
It's a open world RPG. It's an interesting take on the RPG genre. So you can play locally by yourself, or you can play locally with another person. It's a 2-player game, and you can do it where you can split the screen locally, and also if you're playing online with your friend, you can split the screen so you guys can both see what each other's doing, which is pretty cool, I thought. And then also, you know how like games like Morrowind or the Elder Scrolls series, you get a fireball and you can just cast it right away. Well, with this game, you actually have to do certain steps and set up your whole, like a rune kind of on the ground type of thing, where you can actually have to do that before you can actually cast the spell. So it's really cool that they're kind of doing that, putting more details into that kind of stuff. And then also
making you work for your magic.
Yeah. And then you know how in RPGs you kind of play the game, you save it, and then if you kind of mess up, you kind of go back to your old save and then start over again, right, to try to avoid that mistake. But with this game, it auto saves automatically consistently, so every decision you make, it's going to impact your gameplay throughout. You can't just go back and redo it again. So it's pretty cool, and it changes how the world reacts to you, it sounded like. And then also, if you lose, like for example, if you're out there on your own and you encounter these enemies and they beat you, right, you end up dying, but you don't automatically get the game over screen. You can end up as a hostage for ransom. Or you can actually lose all your stuff and they leave you for dead, and you just kind of wake up, bloody or whatever. So that's pretty cool.
PTSD.
So I thought that was a really cool twist, and I can't wait to try it out. Cool. I'm definitely going to check it out. And then also that you can have multiple playthroughs of the game. So if you go ahead and finish the story and you want to play it again, you can do that, and you can actually do different kinds of...
Is this the game where it remembers your previous decisions in a way?
No.
Oh, okay.
So
I think of a different game then.
So you'll go in there, and then you can branch out through a different storyline, right? So you can go ahead and the faction that you were against previously in your first playthrough, now you can ally yourself with them. And what's good about it, they have this legacy system where it'll allow you, I'm going to use quotes here because they say a little something. I don't know what that is, but it'll allow you to bring something that will help your playthrough on second time. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, if you lose, you die. You have to start over again, which is really pretty amazing. I think it's going to be pretty fun. So, yeah.
Another thing to check out from PAX West 2016 is they put out a trailer for the new Friday the 13th game, and Prudes everywhere said what Jose said. Go ahead, Prude, Jose. What'd you say?
It's such a bloody game, man.
It's too violent.
Bloody
too
good.
Violent. I don't know about that.
I have not seen the trailer.
I've seen much more violent
I don't
games.
think I need to.
It basically, I mean, it's most of the game.
Do you play the villain in this game?
No, you're the camp counselors and stuff like that, and you're trying to escape Jason, and it's not a team effort. It's about
survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest. You can work together at your own peril, or you can totally screw over your friends.
Yeah.
And there's in line with Friday the 13th, the deaths are gruesome.
Oh my gosh, they're brutal, man.
They're gnarly.
Wow.
You definitely don't want to play this game if you have kids in your house or if they're awake,
Or you could teach them a life lesson.
Oh, no.
Don't ever walk in on dad playing video games.
Jeez. I mean, unless you're that kind of parent that doesn't really care what your kids see. Yeah. But if it's me, I'm definitely going to keep that away from my daughter for sure while I'm playing it, if I ever do play it, which I'm not.
Wow.
Some other small news stories. Deus Ex Mankind Divided has announced its first story DLC. It's coming out September 23rd. That's pretty good. I like it when...
How was that game?
So far, I'm liking it. I haven't been able to play as much as I want. Just, life has happened. But what I have played, I've liked a lot. I do think that...
Are you the same character that you are in the other games?
As the third game. So in Human Revolution and in Mankind Divided, you're the same guy. The first two games in Deus Ex were different people.
Yeah, I mean, I played Human Revolution.
Yeah. It's Adam Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got that same, grisly, grim outlook on everything.
Cool shades
the
going
penguin?
on.
Yeah, I love the character design and I love the world, but it kind of annoys me that he has built-in shades to his face. I'm like, come on, guys, come on.
I don't know.
That's a little too cool.
You wouldn't do that if you could.
The Matrix over again.
If I could do that, I might do that. As long as they could go clear.
I know, I always lose mine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's permanently attached to your face.
Yeah.
And speaking of release dates, Telltale's Batman series has announced episode 2. It's going to be coming out September 20th. What I like about Telltale is when they announce a date, it's like, hey, it's next week, guys. It's never a long off. So when they're about to announce something, it's like, we're playing this in 2 weeks tops.
Yeah.
So episode 2 will be coming out. I kind of wanted to do a game club on a Telltale game, but I feel like 10 minutes would be, I don't know. I just don't think we could
give away half the game.
Yeah, I just don't think you can I don't think enough happens in 10 minutes to make a video out of it. So we'll discuss that.
Well, it's a story game, so you're giving away the story if you show a video on it.
Yeah.
And the last piece of news that we're covering for PAX 2016 is not the announcement, but sort of the first major showing off of Sonic Mania.
Oh, man, yeah.
It looks pretty neat.
I am very excited for that game.
For those who don't know, it takes it cherry picks Sonic 1, 2, and 3, does some remixing, does some tweaking, adds new content like whole new levels and stuff like that, to sort of to put forward a kind of an old but fresh take on classic Sonic. And I had fun as a kid playing classic Sonic games. I'm curious about if I play in my adulthood what I'll think. Maybe it'll just be fast colors, which for adults that just gets dizzying. I've
played them. I've played them again because they were some of the first official ports to Android, for real full games that you could buy on the Play Store. Sonic 1, 2, and 3. And every once in a while, I'd see a deal on them when they were half off. So instead of $8, they were $4.
Nice.
And I played them, and I was like, "This is really repetitive. Like level 7 could be level 1. You wouldn't really know." So I was first excited that it was coming out again, and then I looked at it, we watched the trailer, and we talked about it. I'm like, no, I don't know. It's probably just gonna be the same thing. But I do like the fact that you can pick the different characters right up front, so you can do Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles from the very beginning. Now they have different abilities, so that might be kind of cool. You can play literally some of the first levels But if you're Knuckles, I guess you can climb up different walls and maybe
Mhm.
different places you couldn't do that before.
Yeah. Knuckles is my favorite character
Yeah, he's
of
cool.
that series.
Well,
Pretty cool looking guy.
Jose, as we're coming near an end to this particular podcast segment,
Mhm.
why don't you tell us about the sales?
All right. Well, I got 3 sales that I want to talk about. The first one is about GameStop or from GameStop. And you have to be a pro member to be able to get this. And if you're a pro member, you can go to the store and get Madden NFL 17. And if you buy it after it launches, like 30 days after its launch, you'll get a $10 certificate, which you can use to buy another EA title. So that'll come out in the future. So, for example, Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, and then NHL and FIFA 17 that are coming out later on. Sorry about that. And also the next sale that I got is from Fry's. I don't know if you guys might be enrolled in the promo code. They send you every day a promo code and they have these sales on them. For the promo code for September 4th that lasts the whole entire week, you can get an Xbox One S with the Halo edition, with the Halo game, Halo 5, with the system, and it'll be $299.99. But here's the catch. Not the catch, but the cool thing about it is you don't have to pay any sales tax for it. The company actually pays that. So it'll be a lot cheaper getting it that way if you have the promo code, which is really cool.
Can you do that online, you think, or is it in store only?
I think it might be both.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, though. So, and then finally, on the Microsoft Store, they have a sale for 6 games. The first one is Rainbow Six. You can get it right now for $19.99, and this is going to last until about a week, I think. Tom Clancy's The Division for Xbox One. You can get it for $34.99. You can get the digital download or the hard copy.
But then you have to play it.
Yeah.
Just kidding, I haven't played it.
Far Cry Primal, the latest Far Cry game that came out, is $29.99 on Xbox Store. And then also Assassin's Creed Syndicate is $19.99 on the Xbox. And then finally, Just Dance 2016.
Just Dance 2016.
$19.99, which if you have a Kinect like I do, it'll be pretty fun, especially if you got a little girl that loves to dance.
Those are fun.
Yeah. And those are the sales I got. I didn't find anything on the PS4, though.
Did we forget Gwent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Talk about Gwent now.
That was it's not announced. It's been announced for a while, but at PAX they were showing the Gwent standalone game.
What is Gwent?
Gwent is a mini game inside The Witcher 3.
Let me just take a look at it.
Where you play cards.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And it's very addicting. And I would just load up The Witcher to go play Gwent.
Oh, sorry. This is that game.
Yeah,
in Witcher,
inside The Witcher.
And now it's a standalone download?
The beta starts in September, which I guess is now already, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, will this be available for your phone? It seems like a game you might just want to play just here and there.
I don't see if I...
It better be on a tablet at least, right?
I don't know. I didn't see anything about that. I saw PC.
So you see yourself just taking out a good chunk of your, an hour or so to play this game on your computer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Chris loved Gwent.
I do. I need to order a real Gwent deck.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Such a good game, yeah.
Yeah. We'll probably make Gwent a topic of a day once we have a little bit more. Maybe after we've played the beta a bit.
Yeah.
Or buy the physical deck and we should just play it before the show and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, actually, I'd love to make it Game Club. So we'll see about that. Let's get the date on that and see if we can put it on the schedule it for Game Club. Anything else on Gwent before?
No, nothing too big. There's no final release date announced yet or anything. So just that it's coming. So be excited.
Okay. Well, let's end with some upcoming releases. If you were waiting to play Severed so you could play it on the Wii U, well, finally you get to play it on the 22nd of September. I don't know why you waited so long or why you're playing your Wii U as opposed to a PC or PS4, but whatever. Those are decisions you made. We mentioned that episode 2 of the Batman Telltale series is coming around the corner at the end of September 13th. It's in the middle of September. Mm-hmm. And the BioShock collection, September 13th. I'm super looking forward to that. And Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 coming out same day, September 13th, but I'm going to be playing BioShock, so I guess not. And also Destiny Rise of Iron September 20th for people like Jose.
What's Oceanhorn Master
Buy
of
another
the
piece
Seas?
of the game you already bought.
Hey, pre-order
that?
and you get the yellow horn. So
What's
that's a pretty
Oceanhorn?
awesome rocket launcher.
I don't know anything about Oceanhorn Monster of the Uncharted Seas, but that comes out September 7th.
Sounds sweet.
You need to tell us all about it next week, Garrett.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of those games I just mentioned are also coming out for Xbox One and PS4 and PC. On Xbox One particularly, you're going to get Recore on September 13th, a game I won't be playing.
That looks
That's
like a
made
good
by the same people that made the very underwhelming Mighty Number 9, right?
game. Yeah.
I can't remember. Itagaki? I think. No, that's the guy that does... That's not Itagaki. Itagaki does a different game. He does Castlevania, the classic ones.
Yeah. This game is Xbox exclusive, so let's hope they don't screw it up.
Also, Killer Instinct Definitive Edition's coming out September 20th.
Oh, nice.
For you Xboxers. So, and Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2 on September 13th. September 13th has all the games.
Yeah,
So be looking at, be judging up ahead, like be planning your time for that day, because there's a lot of games that you got to play.
Does it land on Friday the 13th?
Oh yeah, Fred. Is it a Friday?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably Tuesday.
It's probably a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a Tuesday.
All right.
Okay, and we'll end with that. Please find F&W Game Club on our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed us this week. You can find us also. You can send us emails at fndwgameclub@gmail.com. You can send game requests. You can send comments about games that we'll be playing soon, so we can integrate them into our podcasts.
Yeah, send us some game requests. I want to see and
Yeah,
try
what
out some
other people
different
want
games.
us to play.
And speaking of Bioshock, would you kindly like and subscribe?
That's a good reference. And
Nice.
also find us on Facebook, our Facebook page. This guy has obviously not played Bioshock because he didn't laugh. What's wrong with this guy?
I played the.
Why are you on this podcast?
I played the one in
Garrett?
the sky. I'm the guy who plays. I'm a casual gamer. Can I not also
Filthy.
participate in question?
Filthy
No, I
casual
don't play
gamer.
just tablet games. I just don't play as many as
Games.
most people.
Real games.
But I still play. I still spend money on
He keeps
games.
us grounded.
All right. Find all of our Twitch and Twitter handles and all that stuff down in the description. And thanks for joining us.